for as long as I can remember, I've lived in this weird trap where I've needed my life to hurt in order to move. If something wasn't collapsing, I didn't really know who I was. I'd wait for some disaster to come knocking because I didn't trust myself enough without fear breathing down my neck. Most of my growth has been me just reacting to the chaos that I am creating in real time. I would get overwhelmed or overwhelm myself, then I would collapse. Then I would have a pile of ashes to rise from, something to enforce the underdog story, something to bring about more of that bittersweet suffering I was addicted to. I would sprint for a few weeks to overcome something, and then I would burn out and collapse again. And the cycle continued. I kept calling it and kept understanding it as continual transformation, but it was just desperation and repression, kind of dressed up as this story of the underdog, because I have never known how to not try to be extraordinary in order to be welcomed. I have always felt like I needed to shine, I needed to be this other remarkable thing in order to be loved or to be welcomed or to be taken seriously. And this whole pattern for me got really intellectualized and turned into the fuel of all of my overthinking. And I spent more time in anticipating and perfecting the moment, reacting to the chaos, strengthening the underdog story, preparing, honing, gathering, tweaking, wanting, pining, yearning. This like perpetual waiting room for something that was coming. Something has to come rescue me and save me from this. I must be worthy of that day, like some coming of Christ or something. I wasted years waiting for some big dramatic moment, and guess what? It never came. All I got were new versions, same panic. Different shiny costumes, different beautiful people, places, and things. Same self-sabotage, same addiction to suffering, same overthinking. And the actual turning point away from all of this was so tiny that I almost missed it. I didn't rise from those ashes. I didn't totally transform. Nothing exploded, nothing burned down, nothing collapsed or fell apart. And see, that's it. Nothing collapsed or fell apart. I just finally had enough suffering. I finally built a system that accounted for my passions, not built on shame-laced discipline, but one built on an actual way that I could not negotiate with myself anymore. 2 videos a week for 100 days, based on what I was actually going through, based on what I was actually trying to overcome myself in that moment, in that week, in that month. Published, released, done. No questions. And not out of this stoic macho bro discipline thing, out of this just removing all of the self-imposed limitations that I continued to place on myself. Finally seeing all of those things and all of my familiar underdog suffering as a distraction. And something really strange happened. Something really counterintuitive happened. The more I lived in that container, the louder my creativity got. The more I removed, the more I saw ways to finish. The more tenacious I got, the scrappier I got. Tiny, little, repeated, non-negotiable actions started to feel like this compounding tidal wave. I no longer felt the need to invent the struggle that previously was the fuel that motivated me. Then I was free to actually feel real struggle, real darkness, real pain, real depth that actually gives a sort of 3D texture to words and scripts, and trying to reach through the void and connect with someone who might need to hear this. The synthetic suffering that I was creating in the little Cody lab because I think I needed it to have something worthy to say to people, it became no longer valid. It was no longer allowed. It was no longer like of proper character to hang in this new system. My life didn't transform overnight. It just stopped being such a battlefield. It stopped being reliant on that familiar narrative of struggle where I was constantly looking for external explosions and seductions and happenings in order to push me into gear. And it's rewired my brain. It's rewired all the ways that I am creative. It's been such a weird, freaky, counterintuitive, but subtle switch. It's hard to even put into words. Like, it was hard to sit down and do this video because I was like, I can't even explain that. And then I realized that, no, that is it. This is the thing that you really need to talk about, because this is what those videos are doing to you. This is what sticks. The person you're becoming in making these videos is the point. That is the thing. Going from, oh my gosh, I'm going to try to do this thing, to becoming a person who just does it. That's the cool fucking thing, man. That is the cool thing. Like, I have goosebumps right now just explaining this. I want to jump into the camera and like give this to you. And if you're flatlined, and if you're struggling, and if you're overthinking, and if you're feeling like every single effort is this monumental shift, this massive boulder that you have to like just push every time, and you're just kind of overstuffed but underwhelmed. Like, I get it. I have been there. I have been there more than you know, my friend. And there is an element to this of, my dad always says, the path of excess leads to the palace of wisdom. And in this case, I think for a lot of us, it is suffering. We need to experience a certain threshold of suffering and self-imposed limitation until we've had enough, man. We've had enough. And what's cool about that is then you don't need discipline. You don't need optimization. You don't need anything new. You just learn to step into a system that you create yourself, that you create for yourself, that you no longer negotiate with. And the greatest thing happening to me right now is, without all of that looping drama, there's enough room for me to grow in ways that were never possible when I was addicted to that validation and unknowingly addicted to that chaos. And I have stopped feeding the underdog. I have stopped sucking on that bittersweet suffering. I have stopped assuming I needed destruction to be interesting. So that's it. I hope that this helps you in some way. This was a ripple of last week's main talking head, Overthinking's Worst Enemy, which was sort of talking about the violence of gentle momentum, because it's something I'm experiencing right now. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Much love. As always, my friend, I believe in you.